The biggest thing that changed how my body looks wasn't a workout program. It was knowing what I was eating before the week even started. Because, let's be real, we all get that "what am I even gonna eat" thought creeping in at some point after work, and then you get home, open the fridge, and there's just nothing. Nothing prepped, nothing quick to cook, just random ingredients that would take forever to turn into an actual meal. That's exactly the moment I made bad decisions. Because obviously it's easier to order a pizza and call it a day than to stand there starving, trying to prep a meal from scratch. When the food's already ready, you're not making decisions out of hunger, and that alone is what makes eating healthy actually simple. So here's how I set that up every single week. Quick context, I live with my partner, and grocery shopping for 2 people took some getting used to. We'd either buy too much or run out by Thursday. So we've had to figure out the right amounts through trial and error. Today's prep is for 2 people, but if it's just you, this same list will easily carry you through the whole week. Or you can just pull the pieces that make sense for you. Here's where my method splits off from the typical meal prep video. Most people cook a full bowl already assembled rice, chicken, sauce, 5 containers of the exact same thing. But that gets boring fast, so I cook everything in categories. A few proteins, a few carbs, a few vegetables, all prepped separately, all stored separately. Think grilled chicken, a batch of shrimp, maybe some ground turkey, then rice, quinoa, roasted potatoes, then whatever vegetables are in season, peppers, zucchini, green beans. Everything sits in its own container in the fridge, so during the week I build something new every time, depending on my mood. Some days it's a wrap, some days it's a big bowl, some days it's just protein and veggies on a plate. It keeps eating well from feeling repetitive. Before I even leave the house, I do one thing that saves me. I check what I already have. I go through the fridge, write down what's left, and only shop for what's actually missing. It keeps me from wandering the store and grabbing 5 things I don't need and definitely don't have room for. You don't need a specific store for any of this. This works whether you're at a regular grocery store, a bulk store, wherever you usually shop. I grab proteins and produce together, then handle the extras like eggs or oat milk separately since I'm particular about brands. First, let me give you exactly what you need to grab this week, and then we'll get into how to actually meal prep it well and keep it simple. What to buy. Starting with protein, grab some chicken breast, ground turkey, and a bag of frozen shrimp. I always throw shrimp in the freezer section because life happens, and having something that goes from frozen to dinner in 10 minutes saves you on the nights you didn't plan ahead. For carbs, you want rice, a bag of baby potatoes, and quinoa. Rice and potatoes are your workhorses. They reheat without turning weird and rubbery like some things do. Quinoa is more of a lunch bowl thing for me. Something a little lighter when I don't want a heavy plate in the middle of the day. Vegetables, broccoli, zucchini, and spinach. I pick vegetables that can all go on the same sheet pan because I'm not running my oven 3 separate times for 3 separate vegetables. That's just not happening. Spinach earns its spot twice raw in a bowl at lunch, wilted into something at dinner. Grab bananas, berries, and honestly, whatever fruit looks good and in season that week, bananas are the thing you eat in the car. Berries end up on top of yogurt or folded into something sweeter later, which we'll get to. Don't skip the fats, avocado, olive oil, a small bag of almonds or walnuts. This is the part people cut when they're trying to eat clean and then wonder why they're hungry 90 minutes after lunch. Fat is what makes food actually hold you over. Greek yogurt and whatever milk you drink. Yogurt's doing more work on this list than almost anything else. It's breakfast, it's a snack, and later I'll show you how it becomes dessert too. Last stretch, eggs, garlic, a can or 2 of beans, and check what seasonings you're running low on before you're mid-recipe realizing you're out of garlic powder. Eggs, especially, are the item you'll reach for the most. Breakfast, a protein boost dropped into a bowl, or just a meal on their own on a night you don't feel like cooking at all. That's the grocery list for the week, and every single item on there is going to get used in the meal plan we're about to walk through. Balancing dessert into a healthy diet. Cutting dessert out completely is usually where things fall apart. You do great for 4 or 5 days, then you're standing in the kitchen eating half a sleeve of something because you were being good all week, and your body finally pushed back. Restriction always collects interest eventually. So don't cut dessert out completely, just plan for it. Greek yogurt with berries and a little honey basically is dessert. It's sweet, it's got protein in it, and it hits the same craving as ice cream without the crash after. Keep some dark chocolate around too. 1 or 2 squares after dinner, and you're satisfied. The part that actually matters isn't the recipe, it's the timing. Have your dessert after your regular meal, something with protein and fiber already in your stomach, not on an empty one, because that's the difference between that hit the spot and why did I eat the whole bag. And try not to frame it as a reward for a good day either. That mindset is exactly what turns dessert into a binge the second you have a bad one. Let it just be a normal part of eating, no different than the chicken and rice earlier in the day. If you want something with a little more effort behind it, baked apples with cinnamon, or a banana with peanut butter and a few dark chocolate chips both scratch the itch while still being made of real food. The point isn't never having dessert, it's having something ready so you're not standing in front of an open pantry at night with no plan. Meal prep tips that actually change your week. 1. Cook in categories, not combos. This is the one thing that fixes why most people quit meal prepping. If you make 5 containers of the same chicken rice broccoli bowl, you're bored by Wednesday and ordering takeout by Thursday. Instead, cook your protein, your carb, and your vegetable as 3 separate things. Now you're not locked into one combination. You've basically built yourself a mini buffet. One day it's chicken with rice and peppers. Next day, it's the same chicken wrapped in a tortilla with avocado. Same ingredients, completely different meal. Your taste buds don't get tired of that. 2. Check your kitchen before you shop. Before you even grab your keys, open the fridge and actually look. Most people skip this step and end up buying 3 bags of spinach because they forgot they already had 1 wilting in the drawer. Take 2 minutes, write down what's already there, and shop around it. This single step is the difference between a $40 grocery trip and an $80 one. You're not doubling up, and you're not standing in the store trying to remember what you have at home. 3. Stick to 2 to 3 options per category. This feels counterintuitive because more variety sounds better, right? But here's what actually happens. Buy 5 proteins and you'll use 2 of them well and let the rest go bad in the back of the fridge. 2 or 3 proteins, 2 or 3 carbs, 2 or 3 vegetables is the sweet spot. It's enough combinations to keep things interesting for a full week, but small enough that you actually finish everything before it spoils. 4. Use different cooking methods for protein. Same protein, same seasoning, cooked the same way every time. That's how chicken becomes a punishment instead of a meal. Grill one batch, bake another, pan-sear a third. Even if it's the same cut of chicken, the texture changes completely. Grilled has that char, baked stays juicy and uniform, pan-seared gets you that crispy edge. It tricks your brain into thinking you're eating 3 different meals when really you just changed the method. 5. Roast vegetables together, store them apart. Efficiency move here. Throw broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts on the same sheet pan. 1 oven run. Done. But once they're cooked, split them into their own containers instead of leaving them mixed. That way, you're not stuck eating a fixed vegetable medley every time you can grab just the broccoli for one bowl and the Brussels sprouts for another. Less time in the kitchen, more control over what actually goes on your plate. 6. Get containers you can actually see through. If your prepped food is in opaque containers stacked in the back of the fridge, you forget it exists. Out of sight really does mean out of stomach, and then it's growing something unrecognizable 2 weeks later. Clear containers mean every time you open the fridge, you're reminded what's ready to eat, which makes you way more likely to actually use it instead of ordering food on an app. 7. Portion with your hand, not a scale. You don't need a food scale and a nutrition app to eat well. Your palm is roughly a protein portion. Your closed fist is roughly a carb portion. The rest of the plate is vegetables. It's not lab precise, but it doesn't need to be. It's consistent enough to keep your meals balanced without turning dinner into a math problem. This is the version of portion control that people actually stick with long term, because it travels with you everywhere and costs nothing. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed my videos. Bye!